And you think you've got problems with deer, take a look at this, Bambi on steroids. Hey, I'm at Crystal Bridge's Museum of American Art in Bentonville, Arkansas, and I'm about to get a tour with my friend Clay Bakker as we go around the Woodland Garden. Now, before we go any further, I want to quickly recognize our garden tour sponsors. A big thank you to Gilbert H. Wild & Son, Sunpatiens, Arkansas Parks and Tourism, Ralston Family Farms, First Community Bank, and Crystal Bridge's Museum of American Art. These tours would not be possible without them. Check out our sponsor page on my website, pallensmith.com, for more information. Clay, what a dramatic approach to the Woodland Garden.
Yes, we needed access. That was the purpose, to give people more access to this.
Sure.
And so that was the idea. But what happened was we ended up creating a dramatic entry point.
You did. I mean,
turns
this
out.
bridge traverses this deep gorge or ravine, and you come up to an elevator shaft and it opens up and you're on this bridge and it's like, wow, I'm in for an adventure.
I hope so. We, like I said, created an access point that just gave us a beautiful statement as entering into this beautiful forest.
It really is quite sublime. And what adds to the effect is that you move from this full bowl of light into the shade.
Right.
It really amplifies the effect.
Well, we're walking into a beautiful, majestic forest in here. And
15 degrees cooler,
I
too.
know, they tower over
that.
the top. We really
Yeah.
we enjoy that temperature change,
Now,
to say the least.
look at this, Clay. Now, this is Astilbe, a wonderful plant, but not a native. Are you all making a shift and adding some exotics, as they might be called?
Well, I would like to say we are still very committed to native plants and their importance to the ecosystem.
Sure.
But what we have found is that we've enjoyed dabbling with some non-natives. We do it responsibly. We don't want to pick those non-natives that are going to be, an invasive problem down the line.
Sure. Well, you wouldn't with the Astilbe. It's a well-behaved perennial.
Right. And the pollinators love it. That increased
Well, it doesn't look like you've had a problem with deer here.
That's one of the number one aspects
There you
of some
go.
of these.
Get a little color, no deer problems.
Exactly.
Hey, it's okay. Bring them into the garden.
Exactly.
Oh, and look, and that's bottle brush buckeye up there.
Another
Look at that one.
Another a deer-resistant winner for us.
Yeah.
18-inch,
Oh, I
bloom.
know those tall, spiky panicles. I guess are just
Dramatic.
fantastic. Very, very beautiful. And the weeping. You got some weeping forms here.
Yeah.
I can see the weeping. That's a weeping persimmon.
Yes.
A weeping red
Red
bud
bud
here. Oh,
as well.
look, there's the bottle brush buckeye. It's got the bloom is more mature, more open there. Isn't that beautiful? It's one of my favorite native plants. And look here. Here's another favorite. This is the Hydrangea quercifolia, the oak leaf hydrangea. Gosh, look at that.
And is it, I believe, the Snow Queen variety, which is a double bloom?
Right, each little floret is double.
Right.
Yeah, it's quite exquisite.
An experiment for us 2 years ago, but obviously, I would say a successful.
Well, I mean, here's a case where you've got clearly a native plant, but the horticultural geneticists, the plant geeks such as ourselves, have tinkered with these and discovered or come up with these double flowering types, which add more flower power. I think a lot of people think, oh, natives, well, they're very sort of
bland
subtle and they don't really show off, but that is a showy bloom.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
Spectacular,
wonderful,
and worthy of our gardens for sure.
Yeah, indeed, it's just fantastic. Oh, and look at this, my old friend, the Chihuly. I remember it from 2 years ago. My stars, look at that.
Yes, a huge art exhibition for us, very popular, but like any exhibition, it went away. But based on that popularity, our leadership, our founder had the foresight to just bring a few of those, the top
This is one of my
pieces
favorites.
right back.
Yeah, I'm so glad to see it here.
But a new home. Right?
Yeah,
It's in a different place than it
Yeah.
was before. We're excited about that. I believe the garden setting here is really even more spectacular than where it was originally.
Well, I think it is too. And what I love is this illusion of water with this glaucous grayish blue grass. Which one is this?
It's Pennsylvania sedge.
Pennsylvania sedge.
Actually, yes, and I'm glad that it's newly planted.
Yes.
So it will grow in and be even more water-like eventually.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you picked up on it immediately.
It'll mat together. Yes, looks like a big wave coming your way, and the ship is about to fall into those rocks.
Exactly. Thank you.
Hopefully that won't happen.
No.
Yeah.
It is pretty fragile.
Yeah. Now that is a stunner. That's been here before, I recall.
Yes, it was one of the favorites of the exhibition.
Yes.
And so again, we were lucky enough now to have it on a permanent basis, and again with a new home.
It was brought back.
It was.
Now, so how do you transport something like that clay?
It's in a lot of boxes.
So all those are individual pieces that came all wrapped up like for Christmas?
Absolutely. I mean, it's enough boxes,
Oh
I'm telling you, to fill an 18-wheel trailer.
A 40-foot covered 18-wheel
trailer.
My
Absolutely.
Gosh.
Absolutely.
Look at that.
And you can imagine the installation is painstaking.
Yes, yes.
But our patience paid off, and so.
Yeah, and look how the light really illuminates it. That is really stunning. The sun, it's called, right?
The sun,
yes.
Exactly. Chihuly's The Sun.
The sun, look at that.
He has some other versions in the country, but this is the only one with the gold and silver and sort of a clear glass. So it's got its own signature look to this one, so we're proud of it.
It's really exquisite. And so this path takes us on along the woodland here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I see so many new things. You all stay very busy.
Well, this is, our newest experiment, if you will, out here. This forest engagement. It wasn't the most healthy forest when we started in here.
Really.
And we've really tried to, open it up a little bit, thereby adding some ability to diversify our plant palette.
Get that dappled light in here.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm drawn to this Calathea here. This is amazing. We grow this one at our farm as well, the Carolina spice bush, but look at the size of that.
Vivid flower. We're excited, and I understand yours is quite large and successful.
Ours are about 9 feet tall now, and everyone that sees it is dazzled by it. And there's a white form, which is a little more cream than white, I think. But that is good value and another example, I think, of what the horticulturalists have done with natives, where they've selected for these larger, showier flowers.
Yeah, different properties, combine things to just get an even better version.
Claret color bloom on that.
Yes.
So good. And then look at this, what a gorgeous leaf. I mean, that is a work of art in itself, isn't it?
We think so. You'll notice from your previous visits, we're definitely dabbling in the variegated world a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so, it's some people love them, some people, not so much, but I think they're showing off really well within our garden.
They're beautiful, beautiful. So this is a form of variegated red bud.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and so the color on this, I don't remember the cultivar name of this one, but the flower is the typical red bud, isn't it?
Exactly.
Those are delightfully delicious. Have you eaten them?
I have not eaten them.
They're very good, and they're beautiful on salads in the early spring.
Well, I should have known that.
So do a bit of foraging and decorate your
will.
salad. Yeah, that's good. And I see more Astilbe over here. Yeah. Oh, look at the ferns. I like a good fernery. Look at that. You've got several
Christmas
species.
ferns and autumn ferns and royal ferns.
Maybe some hay-scented ferns.
Hay-scented ferns, you're exactly right.
Yeah, there's a royal fern back there in the back, and cinnamon ferns.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. Look at that, and here's some autumn fern, that bronze leaf.
So you can see we're still capable of, supporting the shade-loving plants.
Yes.
And then in certain pockets in here, we get to bring out the color from some of the more, sun-loving plants. And so you just have to kind of be aware of your, space.
Yeah.
And we've spent enough time here that we know where the pockets are, and so I think
these bits of lawn help the eye rest. It's like, this is a gallery, and you're going through this gallery not unlike the museum itself. And you need these spaces of greensward, I think, for the eye to rest before you come upon the next display of flowers or piece of art.
Yes, I think the Ozarks, from what we researched, were early, before colonization, were punctuated by some open prairies, meadows, and type of things amongst the hills, and then more pockets of intense forest.
Yes.
They've since, because probably our greatest natural resource is timber, and we've protected that timber to the point we've lost a lot of those open areas in the Ozarks.
Well, back then, when the buffalo roamed and the elk were here, it was a different ecosystem.
It was.
Yeah, they were this far east,
And so we aren't going to have the same type of sort of prairie grass necessarily, but we are keen to open some areas of this forest up.
Feels very natural.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
It's very good. Yeah. And you're mixing the grasses with some of the wildflowers, and it's the ferns just seem to just shine right along with them. Don't
Fit
they?
right in.
Yeah, you've got the sensitive fern here next to the Christmas fern.
Right.
All getting along.
A little bit of that Pennsylvania sedge, a year or two in, you can see the size that gets after a couple of years.
Yeah,
so, really fills in nicely.
So this is what will be around the Chihuly boat. This Pennsylvania.
It'll grow to that scale, so give it that water effect even,
almost,
even
like
more
waves,
strong.
like waves.
Right.
Absolutely.
Another thing that we're trying to do is we really want to fill these in. It's just taking time so that we don't want to use as much mulch, actually. We really want to have a green mulch, if you will.
Yeah.
So ground covers in between the highlighted plants of different levels and so forth.
So it becomes a textural tapestry that covers all the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah. Green tapestry. I think Beth Chatto wrote that book. So, yeah, this is more of the Monarda in bloom and Astilbe.
Right.
And sedges are good value.
Yeah. Again, a couple of non-natives here and there.
Yeah.
That's Everillo.
Oh my
sedge.
gosh, look at this. We've had a canoe rack.
Right, right.
Wow.
Spectacular.
I don't remember seeing that.
It actually was the original place where the sun was
much
installed.
Fun is that?
Right. So artist named Nancy Rubens has done a variety of installations like this where she takes, sort of everyday parts and pieces and creates these airborne collages.
I guess so.
And so
that's
how
like
appropriate.
A canoe twist.
It is. But how appropriate for the Ozarks for us to have a collage of canoes.
Yeah, with the Buffalo River being a national river with people floating down it in these canoes.
Right, right. And we were lucky. Nancy brought her own canoes. She's built this somewhere else, but she asked at one point, can I get another 20 of these aluminum, canoes? And I was lucky, having experience canoeing the Buffalo River many times.
Right.
I reached out to several outfitters, and lo and behold, we have even a local Buffalo River outfitters canoes that are amongst the artwork. So, wild bills, as a matter of fact.
Oh my goodness, look at that. It does evoke the imagination, doesn't it?
It does, and it was another work that was painstaking, I can tell you, in its installation.
In a way, it looks like a giant flower, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, look at that. And it's just masterfully put together. I mean, you see the artist has created drainage holes here in the bottom, which I think they add to the sculpture.
Well, she uses those holes for lashing points.
Yeah.
So you don't really even notice that they're also great for drainage as well.
Right. What a fun idea.
So we created this path also, Alan, just so that you wouldn't bump your head. So we want you to go in and around
Good
this
idea.
work of art,
So,
but
right.
there's a few pieces that are a little lower.
You're like, let us show you how to walk around
Exactly.
it. Right. Now I see you've used the forest pansy red bud here. Is that because this is called monochrome? Is that or mono?
Yes, monochrome is the name.
Yeah.
Referring to the metal color all throughout.
Yeah,
but we just wanted an opportunity to splash something against that as a contrast, more than the green that's all around it.
Yeah.
And just felt like this.
Another example of what's been going on in American horticulture, a red-leafed red bud.
Exactly.
The forest pansy blooms just like the typical Cercis, the genus of the red bud.
Right.
But what I
Leaves
love-
out green originally, and then
Yeah.
as it grows out.
And then what I love are these marvelous claret-colored seed pods.
yes,
They're really beautiful.
it can be quite decorative for
They're
certain,
beautiful. They look like
wreaths
little
and so forth.
canoes.
I did not put that together,
Yeah,
but
well,
good for you. I will use that if you don't mind. from now
you
on.
may, absolutely. Yeah, no, they're the shape of the canoes. Now, tell me about this work of art here, Clay. This is very interesting.
Yeah, it's a prominent piece. An artist named Sara Brahman. It's titled Here, and it's another one of these works of art that really focuses on your experience with color.
Yeah, I can see that, right.
So these different colored lenses that appear very different depending on the light that they have, morning light, afternoon, and evening.
Absolutely.
So,
you know, Sir John Soane, the architect, 18th, 19th, early 19th century architect in England, in the Soane Museum, he played with light. He was interested in that sort of warm Italian light, coming in to the house and seeing the pictures and so forth. And this reminds me of that, because you're getting these tonal differences and hue differences as you look through these big lenses.
And I find it fascinating. You know, it's what we deal with so much in our gardens. We're always looking at color and light and so forth. And so one thing that we did was we tried to rather than create a flat spot that this dominated, we basically cut a slot in the earth so that it had a very organic feel, as if it was part of the landscape.
Yeah.
So it came up through the landscape without disturbing it.
Here it's much warmer. This lens makes the landscape much warmer. More of that Italian light I was talking about that Soane was so interested in. Yeah. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. Well, Clay, thank you so much for the tour. I'm just knocked out by all the changes, and it just continues to grow. It's really beautiful.
Thank you. We want people to come back, and we want people to blow away people
that
come for the first
time.
time.
Sold, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be back in a dash. It's just so good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're proud to show it to you every time.
Oh, thank you. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure to ring the bell for notifications.